Hello and welcome everyone. I hope I'm live. I hope technology is on my side today and not playing any April's Fools on me. So let me just check YouTube real quick. And I think it looks good. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to another Pinkfresh Studio YouTube live session. I was live last week doing the unboxing for the Cards for Him event kit. So if you missed that, make sure you check it out. And if you did join or if you did watch the replay, make sure to check out if you won. I think we already randomly picked the winner. So just wanted to get this out of the way before I forget. And so first of all, just checking real quick who's here. I already saw some names that I knew. Beth, hi Beth, hi. I think I saw Debbie, Donna. Welcome everyone. Oh, that's a weird view. Sorry. So behind the Pinkfresh Studio name, it's Jody. Hi Jody. Thank you for joining us. And before I start, as usual, I'm gonna get a few housekeeping things out of the way. So first of all, as always, we will be giving away 4 $50 gift cards. 2 of these will be given away in this live session, so to the people who are joining us in the live chat. So every time you enter or you write something in the chat is another entry to win. So if you give this video a thumbs up, if you share it, please let us know so that you get another entry. And of course, we would love it if you give it a thumbs up, and also if you subscribe to the channel if you don't already do. And then the other 2 gift cards are for the people watching the replay session. So all you have to do to be entered to win is leave a comment on this replay video, and then you have a chance to win one of 2 more $50 gift cards. Okay, so I think that's it. And as always, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. And it would really help, especially me, if you put question in all caps at the beginning of your message, so that when I have a quick look at the comment section, I can quickly identify it as a question and then hopefully answer it. Okay, so let me flip my camera real quick so that you can see what we are working with. So some of you, I know some of the names in the chat that you are also members of our Pinkfresh Studio Facebook fan group. And hold on, let me move things around. Okay. And if you are, you will have seen that I asked you, or we asked you, to pick one of those 2 layouts, so that I have a challenge today to use one of those 2 as the inspiration for today's card. Because as some of you probably know, I started as a scrapbooker, so these are my layouts. I created them, as you can see, using Pinkfresh Studio goodies, of course. And both of these were actually created in YouTube Lives. So if you're interested, you can also check back on past scrapbooking lives to see how these came together. So we did a poll, whatever, in the Facebook group asking which of those 2 I should use. And the overwhelming majority decided that I should use this one, which surprised me a little bit, to be honest, because I had lots of ideas for this one. But anyway, this one's fine too. I mean, I like them both, of course. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to use this as my inspiration, as my starting point for today's card. I'm not gonna use exactly the same products, obviously, because this was made with a scrapbooking collection and then just one die but all of the rest is like ready-made elements from a scrapbooking collection. So I'm going to see how I can sort of translate the ideas of this layout onto a card. And for that, I already picked out a few products that I thought would go well. There was actually a stamp set, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, that used almost exactly these flowers and floral clusters, so I could have used that one. But I wanted to use a different one with a bit more of a springy, even more springy vibe, at least in my mind. And I picked the Print Shop Modern Botanicals product suite that consists of a of a cling stamp, coordinating die. It's a one-piece die, coordinating three-piece layering stencil set, and then also, and that was like one major point for my decision, a press plate. I love using press plates. I love doing hot foiling or also letterpress. And my first idea, or actually the second one, so I decided to incorporate the flowers. So that's that part. And then I'm not sure if you can tell, but those letters down here, the alpha stickers, Joyce, that is actually sort of a matte silver. So I decided to incorporate that by doing some hot foiling with a matte silver foil on those flowers. And I already did that beforehand just so that I can hopefully get this card finished in today's live, because I have a lot planned and going on here. So so that was like the second idea that I kind of translated. So the matte silver in the foiling. And then first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and ink blend or like color in these images, and then we will see how I can incorporate more elements of this layout onto my card. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I get those colored in, because these are sort of the one major element of my card. So let me grab my magnetic mat and the layering stencils, and it's just a 3-piece set, so that one is should be pretty quick, which is good because, as I said, lots going on, lots to do. What is a press plate? A press plate is, so if you are familiar with hot foil plates, that is what we did in the beginning, sort of Glimmer hot foil plates. And press plates are now plates that you can use for either a letterpress effect using the BetterPress letterpress machine by Spellbinders, or using it for hot foiling with a hot foil machine. So you can, those press plates are dual purpose, or actually, in my opinion, they are, what's the word? Triple purpose, because you could also use them with the correct sandwich in your die cutting machine for dry embossing. So you can get 3 different looks with press plates, and I love them. I think they are the best invention since layering stencils, in my opinion. Sue, question, what paper have you used today? So, good question. I used the Hammermill cardstock that Jody hooked me up with when we last met, because it's really difficult to get in Germany. And I always heard other card makers talk about it and like rant and rave about how great it is for ink blending and for hot foiling. And I always thought, how good can it be? I tell you, it's really good. It's really, really smooth. And I love it. Okay, so first of all, so the stencil number 1 is for, as you can see, for the leaves. And let me grab my layout again. And I'm gonna sort of try to repeat the same colors. I mean, that's sort of an obvious thing to do for kind of translating this layout into a card. So I'm trying to pick similar greens. So I just picked Spruce Tips, Evergreen, and Lush Forest. I think I'm mostly going to go with Evergreen, and then we will see. I don't want to like overthink it with the ink blending today. And let me just grab a brush and scrap piece of paper. And let me check the chat real quick if I missed anything. I think I'm good. Yeah. So Winnie says, I agree, the press plates are so worth it and can be used for so many different techniques. So yeah, I think press plates are for me definitely one of the most, like the best things in a product suite, I have to admit. I'm always very excited about product suites that contain press plates. I mean, of course, if you don't have a press plate, if you have a product suite that doesn't include one, but it has a stem, for example, of course you can use it for heat embossing and get a similar look in the sense of sort of a metallic shimmer or shine, but it's just not the same as foiling. And I use my press plates mostly for foiling. You can, of course, use them for the letterpress effect, and I do that sometimes too. But I just can't resist the look of foil. So I'm actually just going to go over this with a 1/2-inch blending brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of color everything in and varying my sort of pressure on the brush, because you can see the openings are quite small. So I don't want to go in with a 1/4-inch blending brush right now and sort of do kind of a fade out look, just because, you know, I want to include lots of things and I'm not sure how much of it will actually be visible in the end. So I'm just trying to get different depths of the same color, if you know what I mean. So I'm usually starting at the bottom of for example, of a leaf. I'm starting with a heavier hand, and then I'm just kind of trying to fade it out a little bit towards the top, just so that there's a bit of variation and it's not all like flat and exactly the same tone of green. And you could definitely use different greens for the different flowers. But since I'm trying to recreate the color scheme of my layout, I'm just going to stick with this one. Oh yeah, true. I just read in the chat, I completely forgot to mention that. Good thing someone said it. These cases right now, so this is the big one that holds 72 ink cubes. So all of our ink colors fit in here, minus the black and white ink cube. So this one and the smaller one, they are both on sale right now for 20% off, which is a really good deal. And they are already marked down, so you don't need a discount code for those. But essential dyes, except new ones, are also 20% off with the code ESS20. But there's also a website banner. If you go to our website, to the starting page, like the home page, there's a banner that also contains that information. Okay, so I like that. Again, you know, you could have used different greens, but I like that it's not exactly the same tone, and I'm fine with that. Because I will have more variation in color in like the blooms or the petals of the flowers. So let's bring in the layout again to check for the colors. Oops, sorry. Now, so I'm going to put the greens away. So I only used evergreen in the end. Hi everyone joining us a bit late. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. So I think for this lighter pink up here, I'm going to pick Ballet Slipper and Cherry Blossom. Then down here, a good match would probably be Peony. Then for the orange section, I'm going to change it a little bit. I think Clementine would be the closest, but I personally prefer Mimosa as a color. Then for the yellow, I'm going to pick Sweet Mustard and Marigold. Green we already did, and then we have blue. And it's a light blue, so I think I'm going to go with Summer Shower, and I'm also going to include maybe Seaside or Slumber. Let's see. Because, I mean, I could also change it up. I don't have to use exactly the same colors, but I like it. I like those, so why not? So let's see if you can see the colors I picked. I think it should be fine. Trying to fit everything here into the frame. Thank you, Margie. Saying everything you make is always beautiful. So especially for a stencil like this, the smaller ink cubes are perfect because I don't have to ink blend large areas. I don't need a whole lot of ink. I mean, you can, even for larger areas, you can use the smaller ones. I usually grab the large ink pads, but especially in a YouTube Live where I have to sort of fit everything on the screen, and I already had a few mishaps in past lives where I pushed off my ink pads like off the table. I'm now a bit more careful and thought, you know, ink cubes might be a better idea. So let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and pick Sweet Mustard, and now I'm just going to go ahead and sort of randomly color in the flowers, trying to make sure that I have all of the colors, that I used all of the colors, and then that way I can kind of recreate that sort of rainbow-ish look. And again, just trying to have a nice mix of the different colors. Question, can we put Hero Arts ink cubes as well? Yes. I think most brands ink cubes, like the ink cubes that are regular size, not slightly rectangular or something like that, they all fit. So I have Hero Arts, a few as well, they fit, and quite a few other brands as well. So yeah, you can definitely use the cases with different brands of ink pads or ink cubes. So this is Cherry Blossom, and again, since this is such a small area, I'm not gonna go crazy with the kind of shading and doing different layers of color on them. I'm so glad that you like the color choices so far. We will see how it all works out in the end. So this is now Summer Shower, which is a really nice blue. And then Seaside is just a little bit deeper. Oops. And And again, I'm just trying to, I could use a 1/4 inch brush to do this, but I'm just trying to sort of have, I'm not sure if you can tell, hold on, let me hold that up to the camera a little bit closer. So I'm trying to have sort of a fade out effect on those small flowers. Not sure if you can tell. So I started heavy-handed on the right side and then I faded it out. If you use a 1/4 inch brush, it's definitely even easier, but I'm just too lazy right now. Just make sure that if you use different colors, since some of the openings are a bit close together, that you don't go into a different opening with a color that doesn't mix so nicely, because I don't want to end up with green petals. So, what else? So this one I'm going to do with the mimosa, because I can tell that it's, oh boy, what's the color, the flower name in English? I know it in German. Anyway, but it's a sort of flower that often has this sort of orange center part and then yellow around, or white on the outside and yellow in the middle. And they usually, at least in Germany, we usually have them around Easter. So I thought, you know, this set was appropriate. That's actually what made me kind of gravitate towards using this set for today's live. So still need a bit of a darker pink, the peony. No, not a tulip. I don't mean a tulip. I mean, oh well, you will see in a second, maybe, what I mean. Bringing in a little bit of peony, this one and this one. And then I just noticed that this opening right here belongs to the same flower. So mimosa again. And let's do slumber. I haven't used slumber yet, so let's do that one. A daffodil. I think daffodil is the right one. Okay. So let's see how that looks. Just double checking that I didn't forget any opening. And that looks really cute already. And one last layer for, I think that's the daffodils I was talking about. Okay, so let's see. Only a few more to go and then we are already done with that part. So for this one, I'm gonna do, I did mimosa in the center, so I'm gonna go in with sweet mustard very lightly. I don't want it to be completely bright yellow, just that sort of hint of yellow around the tips of those petals. Because in German, so one of the names for this flower, for the daffodil, in German, if you translate it literally into English, is actually Easter bell. So that's why it's really appropriate for right now. And then on this one, I'm going to flip the colors and do mimosa around the outside and have the yellow on the inside. And we're almost done. So these blue ones, they have really tiny openings, but I'm gonna go ahead or go over it with the same color for a deeper center, flower center. And hold on, let me grab. I'm quicker using the large one because I can reach it faster. So I'm going to use Peach Fuzz just for the flower centers of these ones up here. And I think that's it. So let me get my brushes out of the way real quick, so I don't push them all off my desk again. Okay, so this is what it looks like now, and I really like it. And let's see the layout for comparison. I think the colors are pretty close. I think that was a good color match. Now, okay, just trying to see if I missed any comments. I don't think so. So I will go ahead and die cut this in a second. But first I want to get done with all of the ink blending so that I don't have to move things around all the time. Now, one thing that I thought I could do is incorporate the stripes down here, for example, and make sort of my own pattern paper using the border stencils. So this is a 2-piece stencil set. You can layer them, you can use the different parts on their own to create different effects. So this is what it looks like if you don't layer them, but you could do, for example, these two together to get this sort of checkered look. Lots of fun mixes that you can get. So I thought this one would be perfect to recreate this look down here. And I'm not sure if I will end up using it on my card, but I thought, you know, I can try at least to incorporate that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use, let's use a lighter blue, actually. Let's do the sky blue. And just use it down here. I don't need a large strip of paper just because my card is obviously not as large as a layout. So I'm just doing it like this. And now I have basically almost the same pattern or color. What's it called? Does it have a Deutsch match? Laura Ann, what's this called? I'm not sure which piece you are referring to because I'm not sure where in the video you are. If you were talking about those two stencils that I just showed you, it's the border stencils. If not, then please just let me know what it was that you were referring to. Now, that was this part. And we also have up here the straight stripes in a light pink. So I thought I could do ballet slipper and then this stencil. Or you could do so many things with those stencils. Embossing powders, definitely. You can even use stencils for dry embossing if you use the correct sandwich in your die cutting machine. Not sure if you've ever tried that. So, okay. yeah, that stencil, it doesn't, I don't want to say it, but at first it doesn't look like much because you just think like, well, it's just some, just some stripes. But there's so much you can do with it, and I think Raquel from our design team, she uses it quite a lot, and all of her projects and the way she used this stencil is just genius. And when I saw it, I had to have that stencil. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this yet, if I will cut it up, if I have no idea. I just wanted to do it, and then we can see, how to use it. Now let me pack that away for now. And I'm going to grab the coordinating die for the print shop Modern Botanicals. And I love a one-piece die. And I think, because I already listed some of the supplies down below in the video description, I think I should have listed the border stencils too. I think pretty much everything except the inks should be in there, I hope. And if you want, let me know if anyone's interested in watching the corresponding scrapbooking live. Not sure if any of you watching right now are also scrapbookers. So if you're interested, I can also add the link to the replay of the scrapbooking live where I made this spring layout in the description after this is over. So I just love how easy this is. One pass and you are done. No lining up, fiddly dies. I love it. So this one right here. And done. And so many pieces to use with just one die and 3 stencils. Any update on a new Pinkfresh scrapbooking supplies? To be honest, I don't know. Like, I have no update. Not sure if Kinry has one or if Jody knows something. I know the, Kinry and Paige and everyone's working on the scrapbooking stuff, but I can't tell you a date or anything. Okay, so I'm just pushing out those little chats or whatever you call them. And that's it. Now, I did go ahead before the live and cut out sort of a title or word that to, bring in or repeat this part here. So here I used the Jeff Alpha dies. Let me grab them real quick. It's a huge die set with 55 pieces, so you get an outside die for each letter and you also get the inside. And the letter itself, or the die for the letter itself, creates these really beautiful edged lines. So this is such a nice detail. And I thought that I definitely want to sort of repeat this element, but I thought I would use a different alphabet die just to show you some variety. And because we have lots of fabulous alphabet dies, so you could use the Caitlin Alpha. The Julieta Alpha is a little bit smaller. That would also be a good choice. But I decided to use the Jody Alpha because it creates a similar look to the Jeff Alpha, but instead of the edged lines, you get these really pretty sort of dotted details. So I went ahead and cut out the word friend, once from my good paper and then 2 more times from some scrap cardstock for stacking them up, because I don't want to use my good Hammermill cardstock, my precious, for layers that you won't be able to see in the end. Oh, and I should mention, so I used the uppercase Julieta Alpha, or Julieta uppercase Alpha, I think, but we also have a lowercase. Julie, thank you so much. She says, I can't wait to see you back for Scrapbooking Lives. Yeah, to be honest, I can't wait to create with Pinkfresh Studio scrapbooking stuff again. I have like withdrawal. It's been a while. So let me just put that away, right, because my desk is a mess, as always, and everything around me right now. Okay, so let's see. So if I put the friend, it's white for now. I will color it in a second. I just want to figure out placement first. If I put the friend on a A2 card, it's gonna be too small, or like it doesn't really fit. It doesn't look good. So what I did before is I cut a 5x7 card, which is really large. I usually do A2 cards, but I thought for this one, you know, I can always cut it down if it doesn't work out. But I thought I would try to see if I can kind of make this work on a larger scale. Because sometimes, you know, you want to send out a very special card to a very special someone. So why not make it large? Okay, pieces flying everywhere right now, as usual. So I will, same as with my layout, I will go ahead and ink blend each letter in the different colors and do this sort of fade out effect. So I'm starting with Cherry Blossom. But I think I might have used, hold on, nope. Good thing that I think of the F. Did I cut? Nope, I didn't cut another F from the good cardstock. Anyway, I'm gonna switch over to Ballet Slipper because I think I need it a little bit lighter, just so that the difference between this one and the next one is a bit more obvious. So just trying to sort of do it halfway and then fade it out. So the top is completely white. I didn't go over the top of this letter. Then next one. Okay, next one is the peony. I hope I didn't miss any questions. I don't know why, but I have my computer to the other side of, like, to my right, and usually I had it to my left, and for whatever reason it's more difficult for me to check the chat this way, even though the computer is exactly the same distance from my face as always. But yeah, so I'm not sure if I missed anything. So I'm going over the R with peony. And the fun thing is, if you do some ink blending on top of those letters, these edge details come out even more. Now let's do the I. with Mimosa. And I need to get a move on if I want to finish my card in time. But I have so many ideas that, you know, I could do for this card to kind of translate this layout. So, yeah. Now it's time for the yellow. So let's do sweet mustard. And yes, the Julieta Alphas are named after our own Jody, who's in the chat. I think I'm going to go over it with Marigold too, just to give it a bit of a deeper yellow. So sweet mustard and Marigold. And then the N is going to be green. I already put the ink cube away, but I'm quicker grabbing the large ink pad, so. Just making sure that the bottom of the letter is really sort of saturated, and then the rest is faded out. And finally we have the blue, and I think I'm going to do Summer Shower. And they are not exactly the same colors as on the letters of my layout, but that's fine. It's, you know, the layout is there as inspiration. No one said I had to copy everything 100%. So, okay. And now we need to assemble everything. Where did I put my 5x7? There. So my idea was in the beginning, because as you can see here, I have this panel in the middle where I put the different pattern papers strips around, or sort of wrap them around. So my idea was to do something similar, but to be honest, I'm not sure if I have the time. That's my only issue right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and play around. So let's see if I cut this down a little bit and then do sort of something like this. So I'm going to tell you right away, as usual, and I'm very sorry about that, but I will probably go 2-3 minutes over. Just playing around with it for a second until I see how I can do this. So that's what you get when you don't plan things ahead. Like I picked a few products, but that's it. I didn't try any placements or anything. So this is completely, you know, winging it, you could say. So you know what? Let's try it, because I need something on my card, like on the card base, that I can put on where I can sort of tuck the flowers behind but still have enough space so that some of them are visible. So what I'm going to do is actually cut these apart and use them as strips on my card, just like I did on my layout. And I'm cutting them different widths. What a horrible word. to mimic the look on my layout. So yeah, every time I thought I was done ink blending, I'm not, obviously. So yeah, I could use some colored cardstock, but right now I have no idea where my colored cardstock is, and I don't have that much actually. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ink blend some more sort of pattern paper strips. So that one. Then I also need one in Mimosa. And I'm not sure if anyone's right now thinking, what is she doing? Like, that doesn't look good, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, stick with me. Actually, I wanted lighter orange. Good thing I can just flip it around and use a different part of the paper. So let's do apricot. Apricot, whatever. Actually, that's the color I might have used on my layout, now that I'm looking at it. I also need something yellow. So let's do the sweet mustard. And I love how easy it is with the 1-inch blending brushes. I mean, I could have, to be honest, I just realized I could have made my life a lot easier if I just did sort of a rainbow ombre ink blend on one panel. But where would be the challenge in that? And I'm sorry that I'm not really interacting with you guys in the chat, but right now I feel like I need to get this done before I can, you know, chat along. So I need something green, but I want to have green, but I don't want it to overpower the rest. So let's pick sage for now. I can always go darker, but I don't want the green strip to be, you know, too much, especially since we already have lots of green in the leaves. Well, you know what? Grab a different stencil. That's a geometric tile, just to bring in a different pattern. And do evergreen on top. I'm again just winging it, just trying to see if anything usable comes out of this. And I'm doing it uneven, sort of in an uneven fashion on purpose. So that's that. So that was the geometric tile stencil set. This is a 4-piece stencil set, which has great layers that you could use on their own, just for some interest. starting to get a little bit sweaty. Okay, so cutting this down. And let's see, it's a little bit wider than the rest. So I'm going to snip it off. Okay. I'm just throwing everything around me. Like, I wish I had someone who could clean up my mess after this live, but it's gonna be me. So let's see. Hold on. So the order we had this in was kind of light pink and then moving down through the colors like this. They are still different widths, so I will have to figure that out in a second. Okay. So. Trying to figure out, because I feel like the letters get lost just a little bit underneath, or sorry, on top of the strips of paper. So I'm trying to see how I can arrange them so they are not, but they don't fit like this. Whew. You know what? We are gonna go ahead and just continue the idea of winging it. And I will just start to glue things down, and we will see what I end up with. So I'm putting some foam tape behind the paper strips because I just thought maybe I'd make them different lengths. And there are so many more elements on that scrapbook layout that you could incorporate, or leave other ones out. You could just, I think it's really fun to take a card and try to make it into a layout, or take a layout and translate it into a card. There are so many things, especially if you feel stuck, that you could use to get your creativity flowing. So you could just take the color scheme or the theme or some of the patterns, or you could, for example, on my layout, I also wrapped some string around some of these parts. So this is something you could incorporate as well. I could, wrap some twine or string around some of those. So yeah, so many things that you could take. You could just pick something. You don't have to try and cram every single thing, every single element of a layout into your card. Where's my orange? There. So just before I glue something down, I just want to check that I have sort of a good spacing. And I'm not pushing things down all the way, because I might want to stick or tuck some of the die cut flowers that I created behind them, but I don't want to have things move around all the time, because that is going to drive me crazy. So yeah, as I said, I have no idea where this is going right now. I'm just doing it. maybe a little bit shorter. This one. And I mean, you can tell I have 5 minutes left. There's no way I will have my card finished in 5 minutes. So yeah, maybe I should have planned ahead a little bit more. But to be honest, so when I watch card making or scrapbooking videos, especially lives, I always love it when people don't have everything planned out and just maybe a rough idea or just some products they want to use, but I like to see where things go, you know, by just trying things out. So I will not glue my letters down right now because I want to stack them up just so that they have a little bit more of a separation between the colored strips in the background. And I don't have time to do that right now. So those I'm just gonna lightly adhere with some tape runner just so that you get an idea. But I can still, you know, take them off again, stack them up, and then come back in with the stacked up letters. So I feel like the E needs a little bit of separation, so we will see what we can do there. Hold on. And then we have the R and the F. And again, I think as soon as they are stacked up, they will definitely stand out more. And I also want to bring in, because this is not a sentiment, this just says friend. But I thought of maybe using this stamp set. It's the Basic Banners Everyday Sentiments. That also comes with a coordinating die. And I think the die right now is out of stock, but I think it's on the way back. So I think this should be restocked soon. And it's one of my favorite dies to use because we have different stamp sets that go with this die. So I thought I would do friend and then maybe do something like your heart is so big or cheering you on, your kindness is beautiful, you know, whatever. Almost every single one of those sentiments would work with friend. So I thought I could use one of those as my sentiment. But this is also something that I will probably add after the fact, like after the life is over. And now I'm just trying to do sort of the tone on tone because I don't want to scatter all of the colors around because then it's going to be too busy because we already have a lot going on. We have different patterns, colors, everything. So I feel like if I did blue on the top with the flowers and so on, it's just too much. So that's always a good, if you're not sure how to incorporate different colors on your project, try a tone on tone look. It always works. It always looks good. You can't go wrong with tone on tone. I think that one looks cute too, if like the flower is partly behind the letter, partly in front of it. I think that looks nice. I'm just gonna do the tape runner so I don't forget about this, because I will have to redo it once I have everything stacked up. So I'm trying to look, I don't have to use every single flower that we created or I created, but I definitely want to have one of each color at least, you know. So I think I might stick with this idea of having the flower next to the corresponding letter of that color. Maybe that works to kind of bring some sort of structure into that. I don't want to call it chaos, but you know, as I said, it is a lot going on. So I feel like having some kind of, yeah, structure helps. And things are a little bit wonky right now because, as I said, I will go back in and glue everything down permanently. But I want to be able to give you at least an idea of what the finished thing is gonna look like, the finished project. So let's say, give me 3 more minutes, and then I should be at least at a point where I can, you know, finish the live without feeling like I didn't give you anything in the end. So I think that was a good choice with the sort of layering the flowers, the letters on top of the flowers. I think that helped kind of bring some structure. Like so. Yep. That one's good. And I might snip off, you know, just some little pieces or the stem or something when I go back in, placing everything down permanently. But for now, I think, so what to do with the green? Because I can't have nothing on the green, but I also don't want to break my tone-on-tone idea. So maybe I can get away with snipping off something and just using it as sort of a branch. Like so. So I did some flower surgery here. Yep. And then if I layer the upper part of the N where I snipped off that flower, you won't be able to tell. So I think that, and then as I said, you know, some sort of secondary sentiment, but I don't want to keep it that much longer. And then maybe just 3, 4 gems, or these are the clear drops iridescent. They are the same ones that I used on my layout, together with some color coordinated enamel dots. But yeah, either these or also some color coordinated gems or jewels. So that is, whew, that is what I have right now. If I had more time, I would have done lots more things, I tell you. I probably would have done something else in the background and maybe added some texture, but you know, it is what it is. I have an hour, so I think, whew, I think that was okay for an hour. So let me flip to my face camera again, sorry. Technology and everything. Whew. Okay, so first of all, thank you to everyone who stuck with me until the end. Yeah, so many things to try, so little time. That's true. Question, when will re-inkers be back in stock? Yeah, to be honest, I have no idea about that one. I'm sorry. I just saw. So Jody is going to announce the winners. Random generator has chosen. So first of all, congrats to Wini Bell and Natalia N. So you both are the winners of today's $50 gift cards. Make sure to email customer service at pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize, and then have fun shopping. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this live session, even though I didn't finish it with a completely finished card. But at the same time, I feel like I want to give you something that, to learn or to take away from these lives. So I hope that I could give you some inspiration for how to find some inspiration for creating cards, or how you can, if you are a scrapbooker, translate your layouts into cards, or vice versa. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that part. Someone said, can we see your layout again? Yes, hold on. So here it is, and here's the card. I'm not sure I did a side by side. So this is sort of a side by side. I will, of course, post the finished project once I'm done with stacking everything up. I will post the finished thing in the Facebook group and also on my social media and everything. So yeah, I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I think next week is going to be exciting too for our YouTube Live, because I will be creating together with Raquel from our design team for a sneak peek live. So next week it's already time to sneak peek our upcoming release that will be available in 2 weeks, but in a week's time we will already give you a sneak. So I can't, say it often enough. I'm really grateful for you for being here, for joining me, and for all of your nice comments. And if you have any more questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below after the video, and I will make sure to get back to you. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, a great week, and I will see you again in a week. Take care, everyone. Bye.